Have you ever treated a patient that was really sensitive to not only touch, but let alone needle? Or have you ever wanted to really treat an inflamed and acutely painful knee, but wasn't even able to get near it because it was so painful? Well, then you're going to want to tune in because today's video, we're going to go into Sanshin, a traditional Japanese medicine acupuncture technique that is extremely beneficial in these situations. Hi everyone, my name is Maya Suzuki, and I realized very early on in my career that the acupuncture training that I was receiving in Japan at Toyo Shinki Seimon, the trade school that I went to in Japan to learn acupuncture and moxibustion, was not the education that acupuncturists outside of Japan were getting. Now, this was extremely unfortunate because I saw the will and the drive and the excitement from so many acupuncturists around the world to truly learn traditional Japanese medicine. And on top of that, I saw how unfortunate it was that so many amazing techniques that are found in Japan in so many traditional Japanese medicine styles were just not making it out of the country and into the hands of so many practitioners around the world that could really benefit not only to make themselves more confident in their practice, to help them bridge their practice between TCM and traditional Japanese medicine, but of course also to help their clients feel better. So if this sounds super exciting to you and you're like, yeah, that's totally me, I'm the super excited one and I really want to bridge my practice, then please set up an interview with me. There's a link for that in the description box below. I would really love to talk to you about you and your practice, what you're struggling with, and the barriers that you're facing in really bridging that gap between your current traditional medicine practice and traditional Japanese medicine. All right, so without further ado, let's get straight into Sanshin. Now, for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to be utilizing a teishin to demonstrate this technique, just because it's really difficult to see a needle up close on a video. But rest assured, these are techniques that you can utilize with a needle as well. So feel free to practice with a needle as you're watching this video. If you want to, pause this video right now and go and grab a tool from your toolkit, and that way you can follow along and practice. So first of all, what is Sanshin, or surface contact needling? Well, for surface contact needling, it's going to look a little bit like this, which means all we're doing is dispersing the Wei Qi and or the Jaki or the pernicious Qi or the Shei Qi, and also the heat or the netsu from the surface of the skin. What this does is it allows the body to relax and not create such a hard barrier to the exterior in order to protect itself, which means that it's easier to palpate without sensitivity and it's easier to palpate without causing pain. So let's look at this technique up close and what you really need to do in order to utilize this technique. So for a Sanshin technique, you're going to make sure to hold your needle correctly. Now, I've said this multiple times on this channel, but you want to make sure that your needle is coming straight out of your index finger. This is very unique for traditional Japanese medicine styles of all styles, and very different from TCM, in which you hold your needle not in line with your hand. Now, there are many reasons for this. I'm not going to go over those in this video. And again, this is something that we go over in depth in ShinKyu. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to make sure I palpate for the area that is hot, that feels, Jaki feels kind of icky or sticky. It doesn't feel healthy. It's also, if you want to equate it to the feeling of anxiety that you have in your chest, that's what Jaki is. And so I'm going to find those areas. And then what I'm going to do is twist my tool. You can see I'm twisting, 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 twisting. And as I twist my tool, I'm also going to pull out that Jaki and also that heat. Again, Jaki is Shei-chi or pernicious Qi. Now, this requires you to, one, believe that you can move and utilize Qi with your tool. And I don't believe that you would be on this video if you didn't believe that. And so oftentimes my teachers talk about hooking the Qi onto the tip of the tool and pulling it out. Now, that was a very quick demonstration of one type of Sanshin technique. There are hundreds of types of Sanshin technique. I cannot emphasize this enough. Depending on the tradition that you practice in, you might use one more than another. However, there are so many, and all of them are very similar in the fact that they're utilizing the tool on the surface of the skin without insertion, and they're trying to hook or catch the Jaki and the heat from the surface of the skin or the excess Wei Qi and trying to pull it out in order to allow more practice. So one thing that I want to emphasize here is that there is so many different kinds of Sanshin or surface contact needling techniques or dispersive techniques, or you can also call them scatter needle techniques. And depending on the type of traditional Japanese medicine that you practice, the tradition that you're in, they might use one type of Sanshin technique over another, or they might use hundreds of different types of Sanshin techniques. It's really just style dependent. Now, the type that I showed here, I often find is one of the more difficult ones to practice and really be successful at, which is why I often teach that one first within ShinKyu University. Now, there is a method to that madness. The reason why I teach one of the hardest ones first is because it's often easier to start at something really difficult and then move to something really easy, rather than starting at something really easy and move in the opposite direction. So again, if you're really interested in learning more scatter needle techniques or Sanshin techniques, then please do check out ShinKyu University and let's see if it's a good fit to really bridge the gap for your current practice into traditional Japanese medicine. Now, I know I didn't cover all of the unique and little teeny tidbits about this technique, so if you're curious about something or have questions, please do put them in the comments below. So last but not least, I do want to cover the fact that Sanshin techniques can be both dispersing and tonifying. So while I showed you a dispersive scatter needling technique or Sanshin technique in this video, there are ways to make that exact same technique tonifying. As I've presented on this channel multiple times, moxibustion can be both dispersive and tonifying, needling can be dispersive and tonifying, so can your Sanshin technique. So keep that in mind as you move forward. A good rule of thumb is always to remember that a dispersive technique is going to be quick, shallow, and many, and a tonifying technique is going to be slow, deep, and few. So the retention of your needles in your practice is typically a tonifying technique and not a dispersive one. All right, everyone, that's it for today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to anybody that you think might benefit from it. It's always such a pleasure for me to be able to spread the knowledge that I was able to get while studying in Japan and currently studying from my teachers in Japan to practitioners around the world. I truly hope that it helps your practice and everybody around you. Again, if you're interested in learning more about ShinKyu University and how it can help your practice, please do check out the link in the description box below. And if you're super interested in continuing to bridge the gap between your TCM and traditional Japanese medicine practice, you might want to check out this video right over here.